Before we begin, thank you very much to Madison J for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you everyone who supports the channel. You are literally the reason I can keep doing this on a daily basis. I appreciate everyone who helps out, because oh my god, this is day, what, 961? We must march on. Speaking of, so on Wednesday, we'll be doing the next Q&A video because it will be the first of the month. So last chance, if you got someone to ask me, go watch the previous video. Leave a question for me in the comments. Keep it to the rules. You know them by now. Just a last little warning before we get to the big Q&A roundup thing. But today is a news roundup because it is a Monday. This is what we always do. So we do have a bunch of stuff, including an update on something we did an entire video for last week. There was a ton of leaks, a ton of really exciting leaks. One especially extremely exciting for me. However, it got amended. Remember, as I always say about these leaks, it is never just one or two drips. It always trickles out. So we have a few more that I didn't cover before. There are updates on previous ones. So, for instance, we do have confirmations about a lot of the listings now. So I was spot on the 2-pack. It is a for Target. The Target stuff does still include more stuff for Bullseye. So this might just be code word though, because apparently the 86 Perceptor being sold as a Voyager with 2 more cassettes for Soundwave and Blaster. So yeah, like it might be Voyager, but it might be a different price. We don't know yet, but that's apparently the Voyager Bullseye listing. There's another Voyager Bullseye, a multi-pack Bullseye, a Leader Bullseye, and then Bullseye 2-pack Gamer Edition Devastation Voyager Elite Seeker Gray Deluxe Ground Soldier Blue. So I was spot on the guess there. See, we do more confirmation that the Walmart capsule for the year, after we get past the Star Seekers, is going to be Galaxy Force and Cybertron themed for the anniversary, which has me very excited. We're expecting a couple more deluxes on top of the ones already announced, but we also have Deluxe Sideways, Deluxe Excellion, the Red Hotshot, and yes, Voyager, Cybertron, Skywarp, which is like the most excited I've ever been for a repaint in my life. Oh my god, I am going to be so angry. My Walmart did not stock Toxitron, and I don't have high hopes of them stocking the next capsule line. I really, really am going to be angry if they don't stock this one, but I'm sure a million people are going to be nice enough to help me get that. There's also going to be a leader that we do not know yet. That's kind of interesting considering I don't know of any leader figures right now that could be repainted into a Cybertron figure, unless they're going to just rerun the Siege Optimus Prime as, you know, Cybertron Optimus Prime. I don't foresee that because the base figure is such a poor fit for that design. We'll have to see, and especially because it's an old figure at this point, so I don't know if they could even like rerun it at the moment. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it's a Scourge, because that would be incredible. The Dragon Scourge, not the other Scourges. Walmart's also getting a retro-inspired capsule line. We have no idea what this is. This might be more G1 reissues. This might be similar to the Headmaster run that they did. We don't know, but there's 4 on the way, so that's something else to keep an eye out for. Confirmation that the Amazon capsule is going to be Mayhem versus Wreckers to fill in both of those teams. There are supposedly more packs of these on the way besides the 2 that we know. So Spinister versus Twin Twist. I'm expecting the Gray Diaclone Twin Twist on that one. The Spinister, I have no idea. No clue. Because they've already done that Spinister. I don't know what you're going to do to change it up. And then Iron Fist as a partial of Hound. And then Carnivac as a partial of Weird Wolf. So I called Carnivac correct. That's again, really cool. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to be, again, I'm going to be kind of livid if Twin Twist gets 3 figures and Top Spin only gets 1, so I'm hoping one of those other multi-packs finally gives us a Wrecker's Top Spin, because I think that mold would look beautiful in the red and blue. All right, Pulse has exclusives that we also confirmed. So the San Diego Comic-Con is Jetfire, with Dirac and Solila. I don't know how to pronounce it because it's a comic book. I've never heard it pronounced. Point being, yes, it's a Void Rivals pack. It'll be available on Pulse and San Diego Comic-Con. The Pulse exclusive this year is Hearts of Steel, but it's not either or. It's apparently a set. So apparently it's Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. We think. That's the speculation at the moment. Collab Blue apparently really is Sonic the Hedgehog, which, that was kind of shocking to me. It does mention Sonic Collab 2-pack. We also heard that there's a variant to this, a blue set and a red set. So this might be one for Sonic, one for Knuckles. Or it might be, someone actually had a really good thought. Tails' plane, the tornado, has been done in blue and red, and it has been capable of transforming in the past. So I'm actually super curious if they go that route, because that would be kind of cool. That'd be really cool, actually. I'm really curious to see how they work Sonic the Hedgehog into Transformers in general, though. We also have Collab Black, no clue. Collab Sword is still on the table. My hope is it's some kind of He-Man collab, because He-Man's collabing all over the place right now, so that wouldn't surprise me. 4 listed HW, which is Hot Wheels. I don't know Hot Wheels to know if there are 4 iconic cars from that toy line that are not licensed, that they are Mattel originals. So someone in the comments let me know, just in case that there is actually like viable vehicles. I'm sure there are. And then FTW, which I only recognize as a wrestling championship from ECW. And I don't think it's that if you know what FTW stands for. So that one we have no idea. And then there's the ones that kind of surprised me. So we finally know Armada Starscream's new Legacy figure is going to get repainted into Super Starscream, but it's going to be an import. It's only something Takara is releasing, not here in the US, which is very curious. You would think between that, the Energon Starscream repaint they did of it, the Skywarp and the Ramjet retooling, that they'd get a lot more use out of that mold than they already have. It's weirdly stagnant for a Starscream figure. But we are going to get the Thundercracker color scheme thanks to Takara. Takara is also going to be giving us a Nemesis Prime based on the Rise of the Beast figure. I don't know which one. It's just one of the Voyagers. But yeah, more Nemesis Prime on the way. We just talked about Nemesis Prime yesterday, so there's another one to consider now. But those are all the updates to the listings and leaks that we already talked about. Oh wait, no it's not. There's another leak. We have to keep going on more of these leaks. Okay, so there's a 3-pack of Decepticon Commanders that has been announced. Starscream, Soundwave, and Shockwave. This is completely separate from Takara's Nemesis Bridge set, so Hasbro has their own idea for redoing these 3. The Starscream we've already seen so many times. I think we're a little bit bored of that one now. Not even just as a seeker. The last time they ran Earthrise Starscream, it was the Coronation set as a leader. And that one shelf-warmed. I know because my store got a bunch. My toy shop has a bunch of them we got for cheap. Because they went to liquidation. And then, like, Soundwave and Shockwave, I don't understand why they're doing a 3-pack when Takara just released a 3-pack that had both of them in, like, really nice cartoon decos. It's a really weird call by Hasbro to try to get in on it. Like, you'd think they would at least switch out one, like, switch out the Shockwave for somebody. I don't know who, but, like, try to put out something a little bit different than Takara. I don't know. I don't really expect that one to do well. Genuinely don't expect that one to do well because it just seems repetitive for collectors. And then there is a 15th anniversary Revenge of the Fallen multi-pack coming out. We only know 2 of the 4 figures, which is going to be Leader Jetfire and Voyager Optimus Prime, and then 2 deluxes are going to be packed in with it. Do not expect the twins. As far as anyone is aware or knows, they are completely off limits. If they were viable, you absolutely would have seen them in Studio Series by now. I think the public reception to them is just way too negative, and it's best to avoid them. I think there would be a backlash to continue supporting those characters officially. So what I'm actually expecting is most likely I'm expecting Sideswipe and Sideways. That's my prediction. That or Sideswipe and Jolt. One of the other two. One of those combinations I'm expecting to be the deluxes. But no, it's two big multi-packs on the way, just in case you need a 10th release of that Starscream toy. There's leaks that aren't Hasbro created, however. So we found out that I don't even think this is a leak. This is just an updated calendar. So Hot Wheels Collector's line is going to be releasing their own Optimus Prime Hot Wheel toy on May 21st, on sale 9 a.m. Pacific time. So Hot Wheel and Transformer collectors got to be up nice and early in order to get that one. We have nothing beyond that. It's just on the way. Yeah, and it's a Creations exclusive, so don't expect to go find it out in the store. And I know Hot Wheel collectors are kind of nuts, so I don't expect the pre-orders for this one to last very long, so we'll see. And then we got one more. And here is a leak from Lego. So this is how Lego tends to do their leaks. You know, this is kind of like blurb with no actual photos. They don't want, because Lego will come down on you. There is a slight amendment to this one, however. So this is the next Transformers Lego set. It is Bumblebee, 950 pieces, $89.99, and it's scheduled for July 1st, not June 1st. That is the error part. So, 25 centimeters in height, 2x2 yellow tile with the Transformers logo. Weird they compare that. Weird they mention that. Scales with Optimus Prime. And can be changed into Beetle without removing pieces. This is where I'm super curious. Is this actually going to come out looking better than the Netflix Bumblebee? Will Lego actually be the one to produce a Bumblebee that turns into the Volkswagen without having to remove any pieces? That's going to be super weird if this Bumblebee looks really, really good. That's all I'm saying. I'm super curious how it's going to look, though. Super curious. Because like, you remember, like, yes, there's the Netflix Bumblebee that, like, half the vehicle mode is just a shell that comes off as a shield. I hate when they do that. But you'll also think there's a RoboSen Bumblebee that is not focused on transforming either. They didn't figure that one out either. I'm genuinely curious if Lego, of all people, figured out better than RoboSen. I'm really curious. All right. As long as we're talking about Bumblebee, there's a Bumblebee we do need to mention. The next missing link is known. I think we were all expecting a Decepticon, a Soundwave, a Megatron or something, but no, it's going to be Bumblebee, which of course, I mean, it's Bumblebee, of course, that he was going to end up in missing link. What's surprising to me is, like, this is a very small and simple figure to do in such a high-end collector line. Now, you can see he's absolutely been improved from the original. You can see the panel his head on can turn. See the knees and the ankle tilt. You can see shoulder motion, which looks universal. The wrist rotation that lets him hold a pistol. He actually has a pistol now. But still turns into the super deformed Volkswagen Beetle. This is a really impressive engineering job, considering that this is going to maintain the size of the original Bumblebee toy. And then we're doing Cliffjumper as well, so likely the exact same engineering, nothing too different about it. It's a weird choice. It's a real weird choice. You know, for the it's just a super weird choice. That's all I can say. It looks like this one also comes in cartoon and toy variants, as far as I can tell. Well, potentially. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I just the images are fuzzy. The images are fuzzy because in my head I'm like, is that Bumblebee head different? And that's like where I drew my conclusion from. But apparently not. Apparently, I don't think this is going to be different release because it's C3 and C4, so they're not leaving room for a 5 and 6 apparently. But yeah, you can see Cliffjumper does also get his bazooka from the original More Than Meets the Eye, the weapon that began the war on Earth. Kind of significant. Okay, so these are officially going to be released, or at least they're going to be announced on the 8th of May. So we do not have long, maybe about a week and a half before we actually find out exactly what these are and how much work Takara put into them. I really hope this does well because I love the idea of Missing Link. It's an idea that I think they should have hopped on 20 years ago. But This will be a really cool thing to pay attention to if we actually find out what C5 is going to be and we actually start getting Decepticons. Or I guess it'd be D1, right? So, hopefully Decepticons on the way. This is a nice little thing to throw in. We also have a magazine shot of Jinrai. So, the magazine doesn't reveal a whole lot of new stuff, but we do get a side look at Jinrai, so we can see exactly how much is hanging off his back for that gimmick in the alt mode, which isn't bad. He still looks pretty good. The more important picture here is there on the bottom left, because we get a size comparison. There is the original Jinrai trailer in its robot mode, uncombined, obviously. But it does show you just how big the Masterpiece is, and it's pretty big and imposing. So I have a Power Master Optimus Prime in my shelves to my right, and just a shelf up and a shelf left is my Masterpiece Star Saber. And it looks to me like this is actually going to approach that height, which means he will actually be scaled. That's kind of insane. This is going to be an absolutely huge figure, which kind of explains the price point a little bit. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I've got a pre-order in, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it because that's a very expensive toy. But I'm very excited to see it. I'm very excited for people to get it in hand and see everything it really can do. Looking forward to it. Masterpiece not done. We've got full-on comparison shots for Masterpiece Movie Brawl, and he does look good. He looks. This is compared to the Studio series. He does look a lot more shored up and a lot cleaner. Especially the shoulders look a lot nicer than the ones in the Studio series. We scroll through all the different comparisons. Yep, bigger backpack because of course that chunk got to go somewhere, but that's not too bad on this particular design. But overall, it still looks pretty spot on. Tank mode is appropriately gigantic. Has all those huge missiles and claw, whatever. See, compared to the movie Megatron, is quite a bit shorter, and there's full height scale, so he's a little bit shorter than Blackout and Starscream, about on par with Bone Crusher. I don't know if Bone Crusher's measured from the head, or I assume the top of the arm, right? I assume like right at the hinge of the arm. So it's a pretty beefy figure, and you gotta take in like girth of this toy in as well, just so when you like really think about just how big this is gonna get. There's how all the blast effects look against the gray, so you can highlight them. Great way of highlighting them. Compared to the Autobot cars, very, very huge by comparison, of course. This is the one that surprised me. So, the actual CAD model on the left from ILM, and then the figure on the right, it's actually doing a really, really good job. It's a really good job of recreating that. You can see for the sake of transformation, there is a little bit more bulk on the arms. Especially behind the shoulders and on the forearms, a little bit more solid in there, but the overall shape is still correct. Yeah, and you get just like the legs have some of the right angles, a little bit more bulk there, but for the most part, it is surprisingly accurate. I am long since done with movie-style toys, but I will give all the credit in the world to the ones who are designing and engineering these things, because there's so much work that goes into them to actually make this work. The engineering portion of this is absolutely amazing. Like, this is the mold breakdown. Look at how many different molds it's going to take. Every color on there is a different mold. That's how many molds it's going to take to actually produce this Masterpiece figure, which is insane to think about. So yeah, it's a really solid figure. It's surprisingly solid. Again, not for me, but I know like a movie collector is absolutely going to be nuts for this thing. It looks like they did a fantastic job. Okay, how about normal behind the scenes stuff? Oh boy, we're done with all the big stuff now. All right, can we talk a little bit of Vector Prime? So this is one of Mark on Instagram's fluff pieces to kind of hype up the toy. We don't really learn that much about it other than just what the character, who the character was designed by, etc. Which is nice that we get to that a lot more often now. Figure does look nice and posable. I do like the overall look of him. I mean, there is some residual stuff from G-Axis, which is a little bit frustrating, but not bad. The big contention here is still the wires left over from G-Axis, but considering he is supposed to be an old robot, I don't really mind that. I'm more annoyed that the forearms are not the right colors, though apparently they did try to do something about that. So the figure pose is fantastic. It does look great. They did mention, you can see it here, there is a metallic element to the translucent. So it does have kind of like a spacey look to it, which is kind of neat. And there is a metallic shine to all of what those like cranberry colored parts on him too. So it's done pretty well. The nose in vehicle mode is a little stubby for me. Just a little bit stubby. I'm not a fan of the tail fin because the original didn't have that either. But it is what it is. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. It just looks a little odd if you're used to the original. I'm curious how it all transforms. I really want to get this in hand to see exactly how the toy works. So yes, there is space for safeguard on the top. There is a Minicon port for him. Here was the fascinating thing. So here's the original look at it. And you can see a lot of things are different by comparison. So let's see. For instance, you can tell that the foils on the side were not only supposed to be painted, they were supposed to fold in, which is something this new toy cannot do. We're just never going to get paint on those foils. We just never are. You can also see that originally the forearms were supposed to be that same kind of cranberry, like the metallic burgundy kind of color. Didn't make it. Unfortunate. It looks like the few of the newer parts were supposed to be a little bit bigger too, especially like the nose in vehicle mode looks like it should have been a little bit longer. Looks like the shoulder guards should have been a little bit longer. But we got close to it, and I still do think it looks good for a new take on the character. So I'm looking forward to him. Now one I'm really looking forward to. Someone's got Hot Shot in hand already, and I'm super jealous of this. I am super jealous of these people who are getting these things super early. Hot Shot does look fantastic. He just looks like the original with a ton more articulation. The only weird difference is his fins on his back are now red instead of yellow. Paint can fix that. Paint can fix that, so I'm not terribly fussed about it. Accessories do look nice. It's a tiny version of the Speedia key, but it works. It still looks good. Still fits in the vehicle mode. All that is true to the original, which is great to see. Yeah, and even on the underside, that's just how the original toy looked. It's just how the original toy looked. They just made the old toy again. They just made the old toy again and made it better. This has me all kinds of excited. Look at how big and beefy he is. Remember that hot rod was sold as a Voyager because the part count on it is so involved. Hot Shot is a little bit bigger and obviously beefier. Now it's also a much simpler toy. Let's also acknowledge that this is not going to be a complex transformer, so that's where they're getting away with making him so big. But yeah, look how much bigger he is than Sideburn. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm very happy about it. I'm very happy about it. I'm glad he's got such a nice figure. And I want all the repaints. I want all the repaints. I want all the retools. I want this mold so many times. Looking forward to it. Like, again, like right up there. Like I just got super hyped over Legacy Starscream, and now I'm getting super hyped over this. And then we got the Skywarp right behind it. I love me some Cybertron. But that's not the only one. We got in-hand shots of Infernac as well. Here, where you get more natural lighting, you can see a lot more of the variants that are going on, the different shades of gray and off-white, and even silver that are going into all the different rock formations across them. So he's not just like flat white with a hit of gold here and there. He's got a little bit more going on than that, which is nice. The comparison shot is really appreciated. You can see how much retooling went into him. Like, the front of the legs are completely different. The feet are completely different. The chest has been redone. Around the shoulders and the collar have been redone. I want to say it's the forearms, the thighs, the pelvis, and the midsection. I think those are the only remaining pieces. Then the hands, and the hands too. And then probably a lot of internal stuff is the same, but that's a lot. That's a lot of retooling. It's basically a completely new figure, which is really cool to see. The side parts on the legs are also redone too. Yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot of work. So, like, that's a lot more than I expected. So I'm getting a little bit more interested in picking this guy up now. Can we get a shot of the vehicle mode, or are we just obsessed with the robot? You are obsessed with the robot. You didn't bother with the truck mode. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. It's looking better than I expected. It's looking better than I expected. Still want the green and black one we originally got teased, but this will do for now. This will do. Okay, we finally have a few stories that aren't Hasbro or Takara generated. But it's the last two things we got, and it's both model kit based. So the first one is Trumpeter. Someone asked me in the comment section what happened to Trumpeter, and well, guess what? They're still around. They're still doing these movie things. So Rise of the Beast model kits are on the way. So there's their Optimus. There is their Mirage, who is looking really, really nice. Their Optimus Primal as well. And the Bumblebee. It was really cool just to see that they are still kicking and that we still have options for Rise of the Beast model kits, especially because a lot of the figures for the movie didn't really hit the mark for me as far as accuracy goes. Like, I really like Mirage in that movie. I would love to have a proper Mirage that actually looks really, really nice. So, I haven't, I think Yolo Park's releasing one too, so I might hold out for that one, but it's nice to know there are options on the way. And then the final story of the week. Again, we don't really have any silly ones, but this one is ridiculous, if not silly. So you remember Agora Models, like the high-end model kit company that was announced a really big Optimus Prime? The one where it's like $75 for the first installment and then like over a year's worth of $150 installments to get all of the parts for this giant die-cast Optimus Prime? We've seen it compared to other figures now. We have the comparison shot. He's bigger than Unicron. By a lot. He's not only bigger than Unicron, he's die-cast, so he's a whole lot heavier. There's more Titans along the way. This is absolutely absurd. Legitimately absurd. You can see the axe as well, which is the size of an actual axe. And you can also see, of course, the Matrix of Leadership, which is way too big to be inside of him. Which does kind of bring me to one thing that is now much more clear about this kit. The proportions on it are really stupid. These are really stupid proportions. This was originally in my thought process of like, you know what? I drop money, like I have subscriptions I could cancel, I have things where I could thin out, my car is paid off, all these kind of thoughts of like, I probably got the room and the budget for this, because it's like it's going to be like a signature piece for anyone's collection, and it's going to be the biggest Optimus you've ever seen. Seeing the proportions now, seeing it again, especially the ridiculously comically sized Matrix, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Yeah. I don't need this in my life. I don't need this in my life. But I know some people who do. And if you do, this is going to be the spotlight of anyone's collection. And with that, we're done with the news roundup. Very long one this week because we had a lot to go over, especially with a whole addendum, amended list of leaks to get through. But for everyone who stuck through, thank you very much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.